we're gonna bring in our special guest, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, the winner of the recent Zeus Combat League Championship belt, Hero Manguray, all the way from, nasa ka ba ngayon,
Ayun,
Hero? Davao?
Davao pa. Yes.
Davao.
Hello, hello.
How have you been, bro? How
Finally.
have you been? Nag-sink in na
Oo.
ba na Zeus Combat League
Now
champion
you're
ka na?
the champion.
But thank you. Yes, actually, it's been kasi before I fought yung week na yun, I got sick, like as I said,
Mm.
Mm.
after the fight. But I'm doing better now. Right now is ano lang, konting sakit lang sa katawan, healing pa. Within
Mm.
the fight, I
Mm.
actually my right leg kind of snapped within the scramble of the fourth round. I think, parang he caught me
Mm.
with a heel hook, and yeah, pero doing better naman. I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Mm.
Oh.
And then tell us your MMA story. Like what brought you to MMA?
Mm.
How is it training there in Davao? And then sige, your first entry into martial arts.
Okay, sure po. Actually, it started out with kasi syempre idol namin si Papa. And then he used to
Mm.
bring us, yeah, we used to tag along sa gym kasi no one would be left to watch us here sa house. So then we would go with our
Mm.
dad to gym, and then he introduced us to basketball actually kasi MMA is a scary
Mhm.
sport. But then we kind of got influenced more toward MMA or fighting in general. And then he started teaching us. It started out as self defense, and then we wanted to
Mhm.
compete further, further in the training. So then we started with jiu-jitsu, ganun. And then
Oh.
back in the day, my dad would always get dominated on the ground. Like he lost to Honorio Banario and other opponents, and it was always
Yes.
the ground. It was always the ground. So then my dad said na if ever we would compete, then it would be best now we train a lot on the ground. So then that's what we did.
Mm.
And I'm quite confident naman with what I have so far. So yun.
Mhm.
And as for the training here in Davao, it's mostly just me, my dad, and my brother.
Mm.
Tapos we
Mhm.
we go to the different gyms here in Davao. So we go to the jiu-jitsu gyms. Tapos we spar with pro boxers for the striking. And then for conditioning, we just actually it's full of YouTube lang. So we just search online mga conditioning workouts, ganun. And yeah, it,
Mm.
it, it pays off naman. I like the effect. Mm.
Well,
JC.
definitely paid off. Kasi, I mean, with the way that you performed in that fight against Joris Yonker was, maraming taga Luzon na hindi nakakakilala sa iyo. Now they know your name after that fight. Kasi kami, I mean, uh, I think we've been seeing you and your brother fight since like 2022 nga ba. We've been sent yung mga unang laban. Sabi namin, okay tong dalawang tong magkapatid na to. Parang kailan kaya sila makakapag-compete din sa Manila. So, yeah, nakita na kayo ng mga tao. And with that performance, sabi ko nga, while I was watching that fight, sa cage side, sabi ko, grabe. Alam ko, maraming mga fighters from Davao, but you're definitely the next generation fighters from Mindanao. And iba na yung dala. I mean, yung mga taga Davao before, taga Mindanao before, we're not moving like that. Uh,
Mhm.
Syempre, motivation nyo yung dad nyo. But apart from that, sino ba yung mga influences nyo talaga in MMA?
Oh, a lot, a lot. Ever since we were kids, kasi nga, we were really parang into fighting na talaga. And
Mm,
yeah, so my dad would watch UFC sa TV, ganun. So then kami nanonood rin as kids, and
mm,
then So there was Lyoto Machida, John Jones, a lot of fighters, and even though Papa had rivals like sila Falayang, sila Banario, but we would take inspiration from them. You can get anything from anyone. So
Oh,
every fighter has a downside, but we like to focus on what's best from them, and then try to adapt that and
mhm.
add it to our arsenal. So yeah, that's how it's been, and I'd like to continue being that way. Mm-mm.
So
Diba?
ngayon, with your training structure
Mm.
and the limitations that you have, what's your approach to training now? Like knowing the limitations that you have, how do you approach training? Knowing na, okay, di ba, in all honesty, di ba, hindi pa naman din masyadong nag-grow si MMA sa Davao eh. So you
Mhm.
have
Mm.
limited training partners,
Mm.
just like what you shared with us kanina, you really had to go through different gyms just to get the full
Mm.
spectrum of MMA training.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
how does this, I mean, does it frustrate you at times? Does this motivate you? Does this urge you to create more training partners? Because I remember there
Mm.
was a time na medyo nag-grow na yung MMA scene in the Visayas and Mindanao region, and then
Mhm.
naputol yung momentum na yun eh. So
Oo.
now, yung pinakamalaking effect nun would be fighters like yourself,
Mm.
wherein
Mm.
there is that desire, there is that want.
Mm.
However, but there are certain limitations and challenges that you
Mm.
have to face. So how do you deal with that now?
Mm. Okay, yeah, good question. This is something I've always wanted to point out. Uh, well, it's limited, yes. In all honesty, yes, it's limited. Kasi, of course, if you look at mga training camps nila, Khabib is there, right? Merong like the
Mm.
big names are there in Dagestan or wherever. Pero here in Davao, well, I have my dad, and I trust my dad's IQ as a coach, as a mentor, ganun. So, yes, we were maybe further into the career, kay we would need to travel to mga ano na talaga outside, to adapt more training and to
Mhm.
experience what it's like to be in their camps. Pero as in this early stage, parang ano naman, parang we have to build our names so that eventually it would be like their pleasure to help us out, ganun.
Mhm.
But as of now, we do a lot of situational na trainings. A lot of people, this is just me, this is just my opinion. Parang a lot of people have this common thinking na kailangan you have to train with the best of the best, ganun. But we're very observant. We watch a lot of fights. Of course, we take a lot of inspiration from elite fighters like in the UFC, ganun. And
Mhm.
then we do a lot of situational training. So preparing against Yonker, we did see na he had really good top control, side mount, ganun. So then maybe the sparring partners on the ground are not as maybe not as good as Yonker, pero we would put me in situations na I would be already under and then I had to escape ganun. So it's not
Mhm.
really that I trained with the best of the best talaga kasi there will always be better training partners, pero we
Mhm.
would we would simulate what the possibilities in the fight. And uh, I I could say na it paid off kasi in the third round, parang he sort of dominated me. He got me in I think a full mount for majority of the time of
Mhm.
the round. Pero yeah, it's just the training, the we were prepared for that situation basically. So I didn't panic. I was
Mhm.
calm, and I think I did a pretty good job naman.
Yeah, and nung when the fight was offered to you and you found out that you were not just facing somebody but somebody from Team Lakay pa,
Mm,
and
mm,
someone like Yoris Yonker, although see Yoris has been doing his thing sa amateurs din tulad mo, but syempre iba to eh. I mean, Team Lakay na, tas foreigner pa si Yonker.
Mm.
How was, planning for that fight, uh, or at least training for that fight para sa inyo? Kasi Team Lakay eh. I mean, sa
Mm.
iba, when you are tasked to face against someone in that team, that level ng ganong team, eh, medyo mag-aalala sila ng sobra.
Mm. For me,
Di ba? Yung ang ano dyan is, maganda dyan, hero, like, narrate the story. How was this fight offered to you? Di ba?
Mm,
How did you react nung tumawag si Zeus Combat League? Hey, hero, we got a fight
Mm.
for you. This is the opponent. He's from
Mm.
Lakay
mm,
MMA. And then, what was your initial reaction? And then, yun, pasok yung
mm,
tanong ni JC,
Mm.
how did you prepare for it na?
mm,
Mm. So actually, preparing for that fight wasn't easy at all. But yeah, from the start, so then we were notified na it was Yoris Yonker I was facing, and actually, since way back, we've been scouting our opponents na like. We've been looking at kung sino nasa URCC, ganun, and then we would just ito siya, this is the like these are the top dogs in the URCC, ganun, and
mm,
then I heard a lot about Yoris Yonker, and so I saw na where he's also he's got an unbeaten record rin. And I didn't have any doubt at all because I mean I want to be up there, so there's nowhere else to go but up. So then
oh yeah.
right, so there's nowhere else to go but up, and eventually I will be facing these people, and so when I heard, kasi I only played in Manila once, last April, and so it was quite a compliment to me. I was really flattered na I was going against Younger, kasi then it would mean na I just played once and parang that was my only exposure in Manila, and
Mm,
to be able to face Yoris Yonker next, parang it kind of told me na they see so much potential in you na they don't want you to
mm,
go through all the other guys. They want you to face the top. I mean the best of the best again. So I was like, yes, I'm taking this, of course. I mean, I want to go up there. I want to get to like to the international scene. So eventually, I will be facing these people, and for it to be for yours to be like given to me just like that after one fight and one exposure in Manila, it excited me a lot, and he comes from a really elite team, and that's what kind of it gave me this drive na, syempre, high risk, high reward, and the pressure of having him as an opponent really brought out the best in me. It's not that I underestimate the other people, pero facing a guy like yours, my dad would always tell me na, I mean, my dad would always tell me na, wag ka ano dyan, wag ka relax dyan, itong kalaban mo, this is a high caliber opponent, ganun.
mm,
So then, it's not that I was forced, pero it gave me this drive each and every day of the training camp. And so I had to, like, through the days na it was really uncomfortable to practice. There are times naman talaga na we had off nights, ganun. I had
mm,
off nights, pero I had to push through that because then my dad would always tell me na you never know if the fight night will be an off night. So might as well get ready for that. You have to get used to the feeling of it being an off night and then still pushing through the strenuous activity. So that was I had some of that in the training camp. Nights where it was really exhausting, and sometimes I would doubt myself na parang I might experience this during the fight, and it kind of scared me, just like I don't want to lose, and in any way I would like to win. So then I would think na maybe this will be my downfall, but then I just had to push through kasi nga my dad instilled in me na if you want to be an elite fighter, you have to beat an elite fighter. So eventually I will get to face yours, and I was happy with the outcome naman.
Now, walk us through what happened during fight night. Okay, what
Mm-mm.
were like? How did you feel knowing na you felt shitty the days prior to that,
Mm,
and then you had to go
Mm.
through the weigh-ins, the
mm,
inspections, and then now fight night. Walk us through what
mm,
was going through your head. How did you feel entering the
mm.
cage and then going 5 rounds with Yoris Yonker?
Yeah, actually, for some reason, I was still feeling really confident through the week. I mean, yes, that was Sunday. I think Sunday was the first day. Na I felt I felt kind of like my throat was itchy, and then Monday came, and then it got worse, and then I just took a lot of vitamins, ganun. But then it didn't really get better. So then, but for I really don't know, for some reason, parang I was feeling really confident na I had no doubt sa aking sarili na even though I did go through I go through a lot of adversity in training, and there would be times na I would think na like, holy crap, with this is gonna be a real challenge talaga, ganun.
Mm.
But then within the week, the fight week, for some reason all the doubts weren't there, and given the sickness and the illness and everything, parang I don't know what was going through my mind, but I was insanely
Mm.
confident nun. And then so weigh-in came, and I felt a little bit better, but I was still concerned because of I still had cough, and then when you have cough or when you have colds, parang
Mahirap huminga.
your
Mm.
condition is just not on
Mm.
point. So then I was thinking na I have to end this early, because if it go in the long run, kay ako ang lugi, But then
Mm.
actually I was surprised na I was still able to go 5 rounds. But it's just the grit, basically. I think it's the grit that pushed me. And
Mhm.
a lot of thanks to Yonker, honestly, kasi yun nga, he's from Lakay, and just the what was in my mind was the the effect or the impact of beating someone from Team Lakay. That would be a really high reward. So it
Mm.
just really motivated me a lot. So a lot of thanks to yours, Yonker, honestly.
Mm. And just ano lang tayo ng konti, atras tayo ng konti. What was the I'm interested in this. What was the conversation like nung sinabi niyo sa daddy niyo, Dad, we want to be fighters like you.
Mm.
Mm.
How was that conversation? Kasi
Uh,
magulang, parang ayoko masaktan ng anak ko.
yeah, yeah. Actually, my dad, yun nga, he introduced us to basketball, or basically any other sport, just not MMA or not fighting. Pero pero we would be the ones forcing him na, especially yung when we started competing. That was around 2016, 2017.
Mm.
We started in jiu-jitsu, mga Muay Thai,
Mm.
ganun. And then we would be the ones telling our dad, me and my brother, we would be the ones telling our dad na, Papa, tara, practice na, ganun. So then my dad would go like, okay, sige, sige, tara, tara. So then we would train, ganun. And then eventually we were the ones who were kind of persistent towards it. So then my dad, of course, this is our interest, so he had no other choice but to help us through it. And he's got the know-how naman, and he's really,
Mm.
like, he's a veterano naman when it comes to fighting. And
Mm.
of course, since he wouldn't want his sons to get hurt,
Mm.
kay there's no other way but to help us, or to train us with this, with all he's got. So that's how
Mm.
it was for ever since we started competing. And I don't plan on stopping. So so he's along me with this, and he's really supportive. Yeah. And
Mm.
yeah, speaking of this sport, kasi it's very common for parents to go like, no, mag-aral ka na maayos, ganun, ganun.
Mhm.
So then, yeah, it's something a lot of people ask my dad because we're very serious in the sport. So then they would
Mhm.
go like, "How are you okay with your kids, doing this?" And like, it's not that we don't go to school, but then mostly priority ang studies eh. So then they would ask my
Mhm.
dad na, are you okay with this? Your sons are competing. My dad's a doctor, so then parang my expectation is dapat the sons are professionals rin. But then my dad has a different mindset towards it. So instead of because to him, this is a dream we want, and it's something you can achieve, especially when you're younger. So during
Mm.
this stage, we're young. It's completely fine by him. We choose we prioritize this sport over our academics, and I'm really inspired by that because it's uncommon, and for him to think of it that way kind of inspires me a lot, and it gives me a lot of motivation towards it. Na there's no problem. Like maybe when I'm retired, that's when I can maybe study again. Because
Mhm.
ang sport is the athleticism, the physical ability is best when you're young. So
Mhm.
now that I'm young, I can invest a lot of my time into this. And then ang school naman is hindi nawawala. Like there are a lot of stories
Mm.
of 50-year-olds, 70-year-olds still going to school, and I'll be retiring maybe at what 35, 40 years old. So that's not too late for academics, I believe. So ganun.
And then
That's how it
it
works.
only goes to show yung trajectory, di ba? It simply means na
Yeah.
you had that conversation, and this is a good thing. This is a very good thing in the sense na
Yes.
you were able to sit down, have that conversation, and
Mm.
then syempre uh Angelito Manguray was able to assess everything and acknowledge the fact that yes, 'di ba, fighters have a very small window of opportunity.
Mm.
So if you are in a position wherein you can take that risk, 'di ba? It's a very
Mm.
calculated risk. If you have the structure, if you have the support system, and then this is something that you are really capable of doing. And in your case, kayong
Mhm.
dalawa, 'di ba? Very capable. Diba? Very capable. The means are there. You have guidance. Then, ako kasi, kung if this were some other person, medyo isipin ko, medyo mahirap yan.
Ah.
Kung nandito ka sa Metro Manila, sasabihin ko sa'yo, pagsabayin mo. Pero,
Mm.
di ba, nasa ibang lugar ka, di ba?
Mm.
Wala masyadong distraction sa Davao.
Mm.
Okay? Di ba? You,
Mm.
you
Yes.
have you have the resources, you have siguro ang
Mm.
pinaka limitation lang would be uh resource material, level of instruction,
Mm.
level of training
Mhm.
fighters. But everything else, all
Mm.
your bases are covered. So it's
Mm.
actually something na we can ride on. And
Mm.
Mhm.
you guys are all in on it, di ba? Do mo
Mm.
makikita ako, what I'm seeing right now, you guys are all in on it. Tapos,
Definitely.
it's a good thing. Okay? It's a good thing. It's also a good strategy for other camps to follow kung meron mang nanonood at nakikinig ngayon na napapaisip, 'di ba? They're at the crossroads in their life na parang okay. And what Hero
Mm.
said is true, 'di ba? Fighters have a very small window of opportunity, the athleticism. Well, I mean, MMA fighters peak at around mid 30s. By late
Mhm.
30s, wala na. Okay, it's diminishing
Mhm.
returns na, pero still
Mm.
capable. Pero yun nga, if you want to maximize and optimize your youth, lalong-lalo na ngayon, yung
Yes.
developmental stage, this is a good decision to make. Okay?
Mm.
Mhm.
Wait lang tayo, Hero. We have a question for you on
Mm.
YouTube.
Mm.
Have you had the opportunity to meet other Davaoenyo fighters who are not necessarily MMA fighters, and then you get to train with them?
Mm. Definitely, definitely. Yeah, it's actually what we chase because especially boxers, because
Mhm.
boxers are it's a whole different sport, and boxing is a very good thing to add to your arsenal, especially in MMA, of course. So, just like he's asking here, we go to MP like Manny Pacquiao's
Mm,
gym somewhere south here sa amin.
mm,
And it's
Jensen.
not that we not Jensen, it's just it's within Davao actually.
mm,
And yeah, so then it's
Ah.
not within Davao. So we don't train with them, but we spar with them a lot. And when it comes to the
Mm.
training, it's just my dad training us boxing, ganun. So then we would go there three times a week, twice a week, and we would have some sparring sessions. We get beat up a lot, definitely. Kay they're boxers, eh.
mm.
It's their world basically,
Oh yeah.
but we're trying our best to adapt. And so then honestly, with the experience of getting hit a lot of times, like especially in boxing, and these are pro boxers. They're not just like amateur
Mm.
boxers na parang, these are pro boxers. So then
Mm,
getting hit by a pro boxer kind of develops this, parang nothing fears you anymore. Honestly, parang when
Mm.
nothing scares you anymore kasi like I've taken worse shots, parang ganun. So then
mm,
when like in an MMA fight na parang, it's not that I underestimate MMA fighters, pero MMA fighters don't box as good as boxers naman, in all
mm,
honesty. So
Mm.
to having
Mm.
this experience of sparring with pro boxers, para bang nothing really scares you anymore when so then it would be about the grappling na naman. And then when it
mm.
comes to grappling, I've sparred with Mark Klim, if you guys are familiar, diba? Pero that was a
Yes.
long time
Limitless
ago.
sa Davao.
Mm,
Limitless, yes.
yes.
So there's him, but he isn't in Davao most of the time. So I get to roll with his students who are actually really good grid when it comes to grappling. So they help a lot, and also we have our own sa dojo 82, formerly DefTac
Mm.
here in Davao,
Mm,
and they are really good, really really good jiu-jitsu players
mm,
na rin. They competed recently in Japan, and they do a really good job, honestly. So
mm.
but like I said kanina, they aren't black belts, they aren't all of them aren't brown belts, pero it's just the situational sparring that's really important. So yeah, yun.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Dojo 82. Sila Dwight.
Sila Dwight, yes.
Sila
Mhm.
Dwight. Tapos
Dwight,
merong
Dan
ano yan.
Howard, sila.
Oo. Tsaka merong white belt yan na bigotilyo na ang laki ng katawan.
Ryan
Meron yan.
Force.
Meron yan. I believe so. Basta it's a big buff
Mm.
guy. Like, big buff
Yeah,
guy.
And
yeah.
It's like,
ano
it's like a muscle
Mm.
personified. Yan.
Yes, yes. I train with him a lot. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
and
That
MP
guy. That
Davao pala
guy.
is where
He's
MP Davao is where Nonoy Neri teaches. Coach Nonoy Neri. So
Yes.
hindi
Mm.
basta-basta
ayun,
yung mga
Coach Nonoy.
boxers na
Yeah, we know.
Mm.
Yeah,
kaspar
we know
nila.
Coach Nonoy. Yan. Saka sila
Mm,
Astrolabio. Sila Astrolabio nandyan.
Yes.
mm,
Mm.
yes.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yan. From France
Oh yeah.
Valentino. Team Alpha. Look out for his brother Nico. Isa pang mamoy. So, Nico, does Nico have
Oh
Mm.
yes.
plans of fighting
Mm.
professionally as well?
Oh yes, yes, both of us. We train a lot, and but as of now, he's doing it alongside his studies. Pero
Mm,
it's his own story. So I have nothing to say about that. If he decides
mm.
to go
Oh yeah.
full time like me right now, then so be it. But as of now, yeah. But and he actually does plan to go international rin, na like professional rin.
Mm.
But
Mm.
yeah, he's still in his amateur stage as of now.
And sa ngayon, I'm not sure that there are a lot of of MMA events in Davao or in
Mm.
Mindanao for that matter. Kaya mostly ang opportunities seems like nasa Cebu or nasa Manila
Mm.
din talaga.
Mm.
But if for example, uh, tawag dito. you get an opportunity to be sponsored by, say, a team in Manila, would you take that chance na dito mag-train sa Manila?
Definitely yes. It's eventually in the
Mm,
career we would have to level up the training, level up with our
mhm,
sparring partners and whatnot. So yes, of course, if it's a really credible team, like maybe with
mhm,
the likes of Team Lakay, ganun, then of course yes,
mhm.
eventually yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you after the fight, after winning, after that war with Yonker,
Mhm.
name was praised, hands were raised. What
Mhm.
was what happened the day after?
Oh, the day after, that was it was I was really sore. It was 5 rounds. It
Mhm.
was five, 5 rounds of 5 minutes, and of course, galing pa ako from fever, and everything. So then the next, and then like I said, I think he caught me with like a heel hook or something, but I just scrambled out of it. But then within the
Uh,
scramble, it kind of my knee kind of popped or something. So
mm,
then yeah, we had to, I had to rest it all the way. But I'm doing fine now. Honestly, immediately after the fight, I had this itch na parang I wanted a rematch immediately kasi it wasn't my plan to end up with a decision at all. Parang as much as
Mhm.
possible, I want like I finished talaga. But then my dad told me na honestly, it's not you don't have to kasi you already won and you won convincingly
Yeah.
naman. So
Tsaka dapat
to
si
have
Yonker ang hihingi ng rematch.
Oo nga.
Tao
yes,
to.
yun nga.
Hindi, ikaw lang narinig ko nag-champion na gusto ng rematch kagad. Nasa sa'yo.
Yeah.
Kailangan manage to.
Yeah,
Kailangan
yun.
i-manage. Kailangan na manage
Kailangan
to.
i-manage.
Kailangan
Honestly,
manage.
yes.
Kailangan i-manage.
Hmm. So then I told my dad about that. So then I said I want to rematch. He said na, Kuy, that's why as of now fighter ka lang talaga. You can't go on your own kasi like listen to yourself. You want
Oo.
a rematch, diba ganun?
Yeah.
So then he talked me into it. So he said na if ever I do get to, let's say I get to defeat Yonker again, parang there's no further glory in that. Like I've beaten him once
Yeah.
already, So yeah, you guys understand, ganun. So then I was enlightened by it naman, and yeah, I trust my dad. After everything, yeah, of course.
So what were you expecting? So any type of expectations or did anything surprise you about Yonker while you were fighting him for 5 rounds?
He was everything we expected. Honestly, we knew
Mhm.
because we're watching his fights. Studying him. We would watch him every single day, and we knew na he had good top control. He looked like he had really strong arms, and parang we couldn't afford to get controlled just like that, especially early in the fight, because then it would downhill from there. So
Mhm.
it was like actually to the point na I kind of overestimated him, ganun. So he was everything we expected. Honestly, I got controlled several times during in the fight, and it didn't surprise me at all because it was kind of what I expected already, and parang it was what I experienced a lot in the training. We would I would be put in a lot of situations now. I would be down there and then I had to escape. So it just felt like it's just another one of those drills. It
Mhm.
didn't surprise me at all. Yeah. So he was everything we expected.
That's ang ganda ng approach na yun, ano. Hindi mo pa alam nakakalabanin mo, napag-aralan mo na yung kalaban mo. And then, kumbaga, when it came to the point where you were offered the fight,
Mm.
you just had to double down on what you were trying to learn about. Ito na nga, si Yonker na nga. Um, and with everything you went through, what was the environment pala when you got back? sa dojo or sa mga sa bahay nyo, sa team nyo, mga kaibigan mo, what was the environment like? Ayun, nakauwi ka, you're now a local MMA champion.
Mm. Actually, I haven't been back in the gym yet because after
Oh,
the injury, yes. Pero as for
mm,
my friends, kay mostly online lang, and then a lot of congratulations, ganun. So then I actually looked at all the notifications. I was like, I'll give this a week. I'm not gonna reply to all of them right now because nakakapagod. But
Mhm.
then yeah,
mm,
I've replied to them naman, and I've met some of them. So yeah, it's a really good experience. Para bang training for something, and then another is that we don't get to party a lot, especially at this age. This is the age of puro gimmick, puro parties and everything. And
yeah.
it's not that I had to turn them down, but I was too focused. Na I didn't even want to party myself. So and then there, of course, there's a lot of focus toward the fight. And
Mhm,
now that the fight's over, and parang I get to enjoy for a good
mhm,
couple, maybe 2 weeks, ganun. It's like the experience is like, okay, forget fighting for now. What did I what did I miss so far? And yeah, I look forward to meeting a lot of my friends these days. So I'm gonna do that and then
mhm,
get back to the grind.
So now, how are you dealing with the distractions? And this is something that I ask a lot of fighters, so that all
Mm,
current fighters and all uh, aspiring fighters,
mm,
diba? They all learn from these statements and having conversations with these fighters, because everyone gets distracted. If you don't
mm,
have distractions of your own, there will be distractions from your environment. So at
mhm,
least
mm,
ikaw, 'di ba, how do you deal with distractions, 'di ba? So, syempre, iba yung distractions, the levels and the difference between the distractions that you had when you were just coming up, and then
mm,
versus all the attention, the extra attention that you're getting now,
mhm,
mm,
especially from your community. Kasi nga, it's rare that someone from Davao, 'di ba, rose the ranks and then had a really good performance and came home with the belt.
mhm,
So now that comes with a little bit more, 'di ba? A little bit more
mm,
attention, 'di ba? A little
mm,
bit more of people trying to be on your good side, a little bit more
mm,
of
mhm,
people wanting time with you, with your dad,
mm,
and then they're gonna, 'di ba, ask more questions about you, your brother, how this all
mm.
came up. So you, as someone who's experiencing it right now, how do you deal with those types of distractions?
It's nothing new, honestly, kasi ever since when we started fighting in MMA, that was 2022.
Mm.
mhm,
Kasi my dad would post a lot on FBA.
Mm.
So then it was a lot of attention, na naman. That was when it was kind of new to me. So then there would be a lot of times that I go here, I go there, sleep late, ganun. But then
Mm.
every time it's back to training camp, or like my bagong fight na naman, and then we're preparing for that fight, I
Mm.
just find myself locked in naman every time. So then I don't consider them as distractions, kasi it's like even I myself parang want to clear myself, clear to stay clear from all of that. Para bang I want this dream so bad na even I don't enjoy partying, or I don't look forward to that.
mhm,
But I do look forward to spending time with real friends, true friends, ganun. And they understand me naman. I tell my friends na, no, I have to train, I have to do this, do that at this time, ganun. So then they're not the types to force me naman, and they're really supportive of it. So I go through
Mm.
this cycle. Yeah, I go through this cycle every time I fight, and then right now there's more attention because syempre, it's a more prestigious event. It's ZCL. It's not just mga local here in Mindanao anymore. So then there's
Mhm.
more attention, more friends, more people I've met in Manila. But then I'm used to this already. I'm used to the attention. So it's not a huge like distraction for me anymore.
Mhm.
But after the fight, I even
Mm.
my dad, he gives me like spend some 2 weeks with your girlfriend or with your
Mhm.
friends, ganun. And then after that, yeah, just we're back
Mm.
we're back to the drawing board, ganun.
Is there kasi with the way you talk, with the way you address things, parang I think you're someone who would be ano eh, who would have a quote na you live by.
Mm-mm.
Parang yun yung ginagamit mo to get your mindset right. Ano yung ganun mo, yung words to live by mo for, and then how you deal with things.
Uh, actually, a lot, but on the top of from like immediately and spontaneous, it would be my dad would always tell me this, and it's that I already mentioned earlier, to be an elite fighter, you have to beat an elite fighter, and
Mhm.
that just kind of affects everything that I do. You
Mhm.
know, I want to be called someone who is elite. I want to be the best of the best. So there's no other way to do that but to actually beat the
Mhm.
best. And it
Mhm.
just influences a lot of things. It influences the discipline, the training, and the mindset, or the how much grind or how much work I put
Mhm.
into it. And those are my words to live by. Yeah.
How do you deal with the monotony of training?
What do you mean pa?
Mhm.
So for example, a lot of people, di ba, training for camp or just training regularly. May
Mm.
mga tao, believe
Mhm.
it or not, di ko rin maintindihan, pero it's
Titigil
I'm
kasi
just
nagsasawa.
attributing it kasi sa
Mhm.
there are days na parang there are off days, 'di ba? When people
Mhm.
like question like what am I doing here, or when they're tired, 'di ba? What
Mm.
am I doing this? Ikaw, how do you deal with the off days or the days
Mm.
wherein it gets to your head na I'm doing the same thing over and over and over
Mm.
again?
Mhm.
Mm. Interesting question. Actually, yeah, it came to that, but especially when we started doing more sparring sessions, and
Mhm.
that's when you realize na, whoa, this is serious. The pain is real, and
Mhm.
you get hurt a lot. You get hurt a lot, especially in this sport. So then there was a time where I questioned myself, do I really want this? Like, I have the option of education. I
Mhm.
can. I don't need to do this. you know, I don't need to do this at all. But then it's just an illusion, honestly. I'm at the time, the pain was new to me. It was just a shock, ganun. And then I just push through. I find myself pushing
Mhm.
through the training, and as a believer, I really just trust that we're all guided by God. I believe in that,
Mhm.
and that um, there are several things I think I like to do, but then the way I think right now is that if you just find yourself not pushing forward to it, there will be a lot of challenges, but
Yeah.
maybe there's something that you like to invest a lot of time in, and then eventually
Mhm.
nasasawa ka, or like you get tired of it, then that's
Mhm.
just not for you. But then in this sport, I get hurt a lot, but then and then several times I doubt myself. Several times I think, na, can I do this? Can I get to the top? Parang it hurts so much. But then each and every day I just find myself waking up and going for a run in the morning and then training at night. So I believe that parang this perseverance toward it is a guidance by God. So then to answer your question, uh, yeah, parang doing this same exact routine for not naman the rest of my life, pero until I retire,
Mhm.
it kind of doomed me for a bit. But then it was just like the illusion of getting exhausted and getting hurt is just there. But then I find myself, persevering towards this. So I believe that this is the path that's
Mhm.
given to me, or that I'm, that I'm guided with. Ganun. I'll put it that way.
Grabe yung the way your father instilled the proper mindsets para dito kasi I mean isa sa mga nagiging issues of fighters is that no alam nila kung paano lumaban, alam nilang sumuntok, sumipa, mag-grapple ganyan. Pero yung proper mindset, it's another challenge for coaches to get their fighters in the proper mindset lalo na pagdating sa laban. We saw how calm you are for most of the fight. I mean, merong moments doon na you were kind of a little giddy kasi nga we saw that you really wanted to finish the fight, whatever happened. Eh. Pero nung mga moments doon where Yonker was trying to finish you with some submissions here and there, kalmado ka eh. How do you keep that calm? Parang ang hirap nun.
uh, we train for it a lot. We
Mhm.
I went through a lot of challenges in training. So parang the challenge of younger
Mhm.
doing this submission in me, or attempting
Mhm.
attacking me, ganito ganyan.
Yeah.
Uh, it wasn't new anymore, or it was kumbaga, it's just another day, something like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So and when it comes to the mindset, yeah, because like you mentioned, there were several times, especially early in the fight, when we were
Mhm.
all fresh, when I was all
Mhm.
fresh. I did want to, parang I was so like pushy towards
Mhm.
finishing younger. And after the fight, my dad talked to me. He said na, "Kuy, you won the fight and you did good, but honestly hindi nasunod ang game plan, ha." Because the game plan, my father is our number one fan, but the number one critic as well. So then
Mhm.
every fight we have, he would talk to us and say, "You did good, but there's a lot of things we have to improve on." So then, dito kay in the last fight against Yonker, so then the huge mistake was that I didn't actually, honestly, I wasn't able to execute the game plan, because the game plan was that we approached the fight calmly, of course, and we put pressure on Yonker, and
Mhm.
then force him to take a, because in every fight he always goes for the double leg, or takedown, or he always shoots for a takedown. So then, yeah, and then we're confident with our ano naman, with the wrestling that we've done
Mhm.
so far. So then, we didn't think that we would have a problem wrestling with Yonker. So then my dad told
Mhm.
me to, all right, you put pressure, you put pressure on him, and then he's gonna be forced to take a shot, and then you know what to do from there. Gonna But then I didn't approach the fight in a really calm manner, because like, you guys could probably see before the fight even started, parang I wanted to get it finished already, parang
Yeah.
ganun. So then
Mm.
I just kind of marched forward. Honestly, I didn't care if I would get hit, parang I was thinking that
Mhm.
I was the only one who would. So then my dad said na, something we should work on is the serenity, or the not having to rush things, because what was running through my mind, especially in the start of the fight, was that I have to finish this quickly. So
Mhm.
if I were to put it in one word, it would be plain maturity, approaching the fight. So that's I admit that it's something that I'm not capable yet, maybe as of now, or in what like in my fight against Yonker. So then,
Mhm.
yun nga, it was a lot of honestly overconfidence in myself. So then I marched forward, and then my dad was quite upset about that. But we won the fight, not because I executed the game plan properly, but basically because I was ready for every situation. Ganun.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mm-mm. Yeah, that's how it was.
Di ba? So, Hero, before we let you go, what's next now? Any plans
Oh, what's
after
next?
this? And then, di ba, what's next for you? And then, um, what is possibly the next time or the next possible date na you would want to defend your title? Also, di ba?
Mhm.
Knowing yung assessment sa performance mo ngayon, 'di ba? And the things that you need to work on, do you
Mhm.
have a timeline with regards to
Mm.
fighting? Okay, let me fight locally, then I'll fight Manila, then probably a few times in Manila, and then that's probably the time na I'll entertain the notion of fighting overseas.
Mhm.
'Di ba? So what's any sort of timeline that you could share with us as much as 'di ba? You'd allow us to learn or allow us to know, pero 'di ba? Any like what are the next few steps for your MMA career?
Honestly, for me, kung pwede, next month laban agad. But then, my
Wag
dad,
muna, magpasko ka muna. Okay, magpasko ka muna.
yun nga eh.
Magpasko ka muna.
So
Mahirap
then,
mag-train. Ako na nagsasabi sa'yo ha. Hindi
Oh,
siya nakakatuwa.
totoo.
Hindi nakakatuwa mag-training ng Pasko, bro. Na-experience ko na yan. Ano, hindi siya masaya. Okay, yung camp kami ng December, not a good feeling, bro. So, take it from me. Di
Everybody's
ba?
eating daw, ikaw hindi. Nako.
true,
So,
true.
di ba? Siguro March
Mm.
it's a pretty
Mm.
okay na
Mm.
di ba?
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
long as
Yeah,
you're not out of shape, di ba? And then di
Mhm.
ba, you have to heal your injuries as well. So, di
mm.
ba?
Yeah.
So,
Actually,
okay,
I talked
yun
to
linawin yun. December, out of the question, no?
out of the question.
Mhm.
Yeah, I talked to my dad about it after because I said na as much as possible ba or I wanna fight agad ba kasi parang masarap yung feeling na manalo and everything.
Yes.
But then
Oh, yeah.
my dad said na yeah you're young and inexperienced. That's yan talagang utak ng fighter, just fight and everything. So then, under the guidance of my dad, na may said na maybe 4 months, 3 months
Mhm.
of training, getting better. A lot of things to work on. I'll admittedly say that, a lot of things to work on. So yes, maybe by March, April. My
Mhm.
dad said March or April would be a good time to fight. And as for fighting overseas, he always tells me that I'm not there yet. So I trust
Mhm.
him. I trust him. As much as possible, I want to speed up the process, but I trust him. And even I myself, parang I look at the fighters in kahit Brave or Bellator, parang I would say na
Mhm.
I'm not good enough for that
Mhm.
yet, not yet. So, but I'll
Uh,
get there eventually if I persevere towards this. Yeah.
Mhm.
siguro, mga 12 fights.
Napakagat.
After 12
Ah.
fights. Kuha ka
A
yan.
lot, a lot.
Pero
Kaya yan.
very admirable yung fact na you admit and your dad admits that you're not there yet and that you do not need to speed up the process kasi it's really a process that you need to go through to get to the level na yun nga, so international lalo pa sa division mo welterweight in the international scene medyo mabigat-bigat yung division na yan. I mean we don't have a lot of Filipino welterweights na kasing tangkad mo, kasing laki mo. So, uh, you know, siyempre mahirap naman talaga biglain na palabasin ka ng Pilipinas to compete. I mean, katulad ng mga, yan, si UAE Warriors, si One Championship, madalas yung mga ganyang promotions, biglang, pag may nakitang potential, uy, baka gusto mo na mag-compete agad sa amin. Pero syempre, mahirap yung, you say yes early on. Kasi, sayang yung momentum. Sayang yung momentum. I think that's what your dad is
Yes.
meaning to say. Sayang yung momentum eh. I mean, as for now, alam ko, nakausap ko sila Zeus. They might have an event, mga March nga yata or April. So, malay natin. Isa lang ka agad doon for your first title defense.
Mm-mm. I'll be happy
Diba?
to
And
be
you're
there. Yeah.
relatively young. Baka
Mm.
maya-maya kaya mo pa mag
Yes.
155. Diba?
Oh.
You're
Maybe,
170
maybe.
at this age.
Oo.
A few
Mm.
more, you
Mm.
get you get your training regimen right,
Mm.
tapos you get a proper
Yes.
nutritionist or you get your nutrition in check,
Mm.
kaya mo mag 155.
Yes.
Kasi for your
Mm.
height and
Mm.
your skill set, when you go international,
Pwede, no?
like sabihin natin PFL, Bellator, 'di ba,
Mm.
UFC,
Mm.
155 ka, bro. Alam mo 'yon,
Mm.
hindi ka
150.
170.
Yes. Yes.
Isipin mo 170,
Medyo.
ano ka, Belal, 'di ba? Leon
Grabe.
Edwards, parang
Yes.
parang feeling ko 150. 'Di ba? Nag-freeze
145 would
frame
be
tayo.
Max Holloway na.
Ayan, okay, okay.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah,
di
nga
ba?
eh.
Medyo 145, 155. Kasi at least right
Ah,
now, at 170, your body's getting used to it, di ba? Your
Mm.
body is getting
mm,
introduced to the everyday grind, yung
Mm.
yung transition from normal training to camp training,
mm,
di ba? And then your body's acclimating to cutting
Mm.
weight, performing, and then recovery. And then
Mm.
yes.
your body will adjust. Tapos eventually bone density goes up,
Mm.
muscle mass will stabilize, and
Mm,
then you'll find the sweet spot na yan,
Mm.
go international, that's around 145, 155 for you.
mm,
Mm.
Lalong-lalo na as you get older, yung kukunat, tibay,
oh, yeah.
lalakas, 'di ba? As long as you're training consistently, you're recovering the right way, you're getting the right amount of rest, and then you're not overtraining. So that's a huge possibility. Kami naman dito, I've always been vocal about it. I love for Filipino fighters to be local champions but
Mm,
be internationally competitive as well. 'Di ba? As
yes.
long as the real tawag dito, the real challenge is always going up at fighting at a high level, 'di ba? Fighting at a high
Mm.
level
Mm,
with the right competition, and at the same time you're entering with a good momentum and rhythm with you. Hindi yung bigla kang ibabato doon, nagmumukha kang pakain
Yes.
kasi
mhm,
pagka ganun eh, 'di
yes.
Mm.
ba?
We don't,
Ah,
Yes.
syempre, we've seen that time and again. Ayaw na natin makita yun talaga sa
ah,
mga Pinoy fighters.
there's
Ayan,
there's so
sayang yung
many
potential.
there's so many
Mm.
sayang lang din. Kaya rin we asked you about adding distractions,
Mm.
dealing with newfound attention kasi diyan na ngayon
Mm,
papasok yung mga kung sino-sino magsasabi na ito yung dapat mong gawin or ito yung
Mm.
pwede mong gawin, blah 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 blah, pero they
mm,
don't really have skin in the game or
Mm.
yes.
they don't really know what they're talking
Mm,
about, 'di ba? Maraming ano unfortunately, okay, and as much as this community is a close-knit community, the number
Mm.
of people
mm,
who are growing within the community, mas maraming bro science eh. Mas dumadami yung bro
Mm.
science for the simple
oh,
reason na
Mm.
actually.
wala. They have yet to experience camp. They have
Yes.
yet to
Yes.
experience getting
Yes.
punched in the face. So,
Mm.
yun yung, so, yun
Mm.
yung ano eh, that's the so at least you have proper guidance, you have a good team behind you, and what's very really really admirable is you're making do with what you have, diba? There
Mm.
are
Yes.
limitations to doing things like this, diba? And the career path that you want to partake in, pero yun nga, especially, diba, Davao. And on the flip side, this is also very good for Davao kasi it simply means, oy,
Yes.
there's talent here. We have, di ba? We have
Mm.
the talent, we have the people. We just need to
Mm.
grow the community. So ikaw,
Mm,
Yes.
hero, how does this win, di ba? How does this
Mm.
win reflect on you as a person, and how does this reflect to
Mm.
Davao as an MMA hub, di ba? For
Mm.
or at least the presence of MMA in the Davao region.
Mm. Yeah. I believe that, of course, further progressing in the sport, there'll be this sort of confidence in the kasi there you know how when syempre Davao, there's no parabang as of now, or like in this era of MMA, there's no parabang there's no one from Davao or from this hometown na talaga, who's been out there and
yeah.
Mm.
achieve so much. But then maybe as a person, as someone, coming from Davao, and to be able to achieve as like further in the career, it
Mm.
will bring some sort of confidence to Davao fighters. Na you don't need to be from Dagestan, or you don't have to be a D1
Mhm.
wrestler from the US to
Mm.
reach, to achieve so much. You can just be this simple guy na, just persevere in your training. And then as for me, syempre, I'm gonna be venturing into international training camps when
Mm.
I further in the career. I can adapt from there, and then you know do the training right here. And then if some guys would like to join our training camp, and then just share the knowledge and everything, then Davao will have its own elite MMA community, and I look forward to that, honestly.
Mm.
And being a pioneer in that excites me a lot.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yes.
Diba? And of course, Hero, thank you so much for your time. Thank you
Mm.
for
Mhm.
joining us. Thank you for sharing your story.
Mm.
Please
Yes.
let us final words to all your supporters and anybody you want to greet. And where can people find you on social media?
Yes. Oo, kailangan meron ka na nun.
Yes. Uh, oh yes, I would like to thank all the supporters and fans, who's been watching me along the way. There are some people, from the when we started playing, na parang naging fans na namin, and then it inspires me a lot na when they say na, I look forward to you getting into the international scene, huh? I'll follow you on IG. I'll add you on FB and everything. And actually, nakikita ko na while I I play further from Davao, na para I get to Manila and everything. It really inspires me a lot. Na I see them
Mhm.
liking the posts and everything. Is like, wow, they really do believe in me that much. Na they're keeping track of my progress again.
Mhm.
So I would like to
Mhm.
thank them. It's a lot of help in terms of motivation, and it inspires me a lot. And I would love to be a voice. I would love to inspire others as well. Na it is very possible to achieve a dream if you just really do work for it and you persevere towards it. I'm not there yet, but I would love to be an example of
Mhm.
being that person.
Mhm.
And where you can find me, it's just basically Hero Manguray, FB, IG, anywhere else. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And thank you
There
guys
you have it.
for getting me
Oh,
here.
yes.
Of course, bro.
Of
Mm.
'Di ba?
course.
Kailangan. That's why, 'di ba? And
People
ako,
need to know more
anytime
about
you're in
you and your
Manila,
brother, of course. Mm.
oo, bro. Kailangan 'yan. We need more stories like this. We need more success in people from our community, 'di ba? We
Mm.
need to share these types of stories. These are the stories that deserve to be heard. And
Mhm.
ako personally, if whenever you're in Manila and you need a gym to train at, you're more than welcome in
Mm.
ours, bro. Okay, you
Thank
just
you
just
so
let me
much.
know, and
Thank you.
then 'di ba, the gym, our academy is open for you and your family. Okay? So
Thank
there
you
you have
so
it, ladies
much.
and
Mhm.
gentlemen. Hero Manguray, all the way from Davao, Zeus Combat League Welterweight Champion. Hero, thank you so much for your time. We
Mhm.
appreciate you.
Thank you
Thank
so
Regards
you.
to the
much.
family, regards to the doctor, all right, Mr. Angelito Manguray, and more success. Okay, basta you guys are in
Thank you
Manila,
so
you guys
much.
want to
Yes, to
train,
you and your brother,
message
of
me,
course.
ah. Thank you, bro.
Mm. Oh
Thank
yes.
you,
Thank
thank you.
you. Thank you. And I
Bye
hope to see
bye.
you
Thank
soon.
you.
Thank you.
Yes.